Welcome back. Now we're going to do a one-point perspective. So you're definitely going to need three things. Obviously the pencil, you'll need a ruler, and probably an eraser as you make mistakes on this. It's very common. So get those things, get a piece of paper, and I'll show you how to do it. One-point perspective. So let's just look at this one first. Here's one of my examples. Here's the 1 point perspective, and everything's going back to that 1 point. Everything that's built here. So we're going to go back to very basics and just show you this square and how the three edges here, here's our 1 point right there, how these three corners all line up with this 1 point back here by the end of the road. The dotted lines themselves, the other side of the road, right, the top, this other building, all these lines line up with there. So the lines are either square with the edge of your paper, they're facing you, these two, or they're going back at an angle, right? That's the 3D effect. Then everything else is just all fun and details, making it more interesting. Okay, so before we get to this, let's just make a square. Junkier paper here. So the first thing you need to know we're working with is a horizon line and a vanishing point. You see those? Make it darker. Alright. If we make, say, a square box that goes through the horizon line, all those sides are parallel with the edge of our paper, parallel with the horizon line. Then you can't see the top of the box and you can't see the bottom of the box because they're below your eyesight, which is the horizon line, or above your eyesight, above the horizon line. Just figure out how far back you want to go. It's easier to, there you go, and then put the back on it. So it's going back to this point back here, from this corner. Line those up. So if we just make a box down here below the vanishing point, we'll be able to see three sides because it'll be off to the left. Okay, so if we put let me get on the y-axis here. If we do that, you don't want to do that on your artwork, but you will have a horizon line. If we're over to this side of the dot, we're going to be able to see two sides, the top and the side of it. Right? So from this corner to the vanishing point, make a tag. This corner to the vanishing point. This corner to the vanishing point. Okay, I made this one shorter than this one, it seems, because I know I'm going to have to be straight up and down over here. Now it's easier to add than subtract, so I can add, then I don't have to erase. So I take the longer line. Same with here, straight across. That's parallel with the edge of the paper. 1, 2, 3 across. 1, 2, 3 straight up and down. And 1, 2, 3 to the vanishing point. Okay? It's 3, 3, 3 there. Let's see, in class we did a triangle, two different kinds. So if you wanted to do a triangle. Really, this is the square. This is basically all if I do is do that, then I have a triangle with that. It's the same thing. Sore throat again. 1, 2 to the vanishing point. 3 to the vanishing point, right? Now to close it off, we go parallel again. Parallel with this one. Come out. Ta-da. And down. And then up here I had the students do a circle, make a nice big circle. The top and the bottom of this circle will go to the vanishing point to some distance. Obviously the longer you go, the skinnier it's going to get. So the trick here is to match this curve down here. Always it goes out more than you think. A lot of people want to make a straight line. Then it won't look like a cylinder. It's going off into the distance. And over here I had the students make like a red cross, just to say if you can do this, then you can do anything. Okay, so you got your cross there. Then you just go from every corner to the vanishing point, just like you've been doing. Make a tag there, the corner. You can see this one back here, probably this one back there. So you got all those. Now to close it off, you have to be parallel with each of these lines out here. So if this is straight up and down, this will be straight up and down. This is a cross, line it up with that one. That's a cross. Straight up and down, straight up and down. Straight over, straight over. And you can erase lines that were too long. Maybe go over there. Ta-da! And that's it. That's the basics. So let's apply that to our project. So get your good art paper out. We're going to move the horizon line up. Let me stop and restart here. Okay, so let's start the project now. We're going to bring this down about 25%. We cut the paper in half, and then the half and a half. This is our horizon line. This will give us lots of room to put our little buildings and stuff. I found that if we take the thickness of the ruler and do this, and the distance, our vanishing point will be here, and it'll split to about 3-4 inches. So we'll do this one, 2, 3. We'll do this one 4 inches. Here to here, 4 inches. So now you know where you're going from this point to that point. Oops, I grabbed onto something. And then again, from this one to here. So now you have a row that comes down and tees off and goes in 2 directions. The thickness of the ruler, again, 4 inches there, 3.5 to 4. All right, that's your basic layout. Now, we need to get the buildings off the street and move them back a little bit on the sidewalk. So I'm going to make my sidewalks this big here. So this is the corner of my building. But it goes to the vanishing point. But you don't want the sidewalk to go, 100 miles there, 50 miles off into the distance. Only to as far as your buildings are going to go, is as far as you need sidewalk. And this one is just parallel the sidewalk. You can carry that over here too. Do the same thing, get your corner here. Go some unknown distance there. Figure that out later. Now we're going to make, remember this box right here. Sorry, what we just did here, this box here, and we're going to make this building laying on this scene. So let's make the box here, straight up, over as far as you want to go, straight up and down, the edges of your paper. Alright, this corner back. I'm going to go far enough knowing that this is going to be straight up and down. This one's critical. So many students will make their line angled like that. You don't want that. You want it straight up and down. So get it parallel with this one. It's always easier to add than to subtract. So there we go. Now you got to decide what kind of roof do you want. So we're looking at this one. Do we want to make a double, 2 boxes next to each other? All right. Do you want to make a pointed roof? So let's do the double just because it's more difficult and people can do that if they want. So let's cut this building in half right there, straight up and down. Let's back off a little bit. So that'll go taller. Go taller here. Now we'll close this one off here. To the vanishing point on the side of the building, but square on the top. I want to get this one in there. Square. Straight up and down on this next building. So it's like a whole nother square here, a cube that's facing you. That part's facing you, like this one. But the top, diamond shaped, getting smaller as it goes away from you. Getting smaller, say. Then we'll parallel this off of here. So the tops are very much like the sides. They're diamonds. They're getting smaller as they get further away because they're going to the vanishing point. Okay. And of course you do the same thing over here with another building. But the last thing I want to, that's most critical here, well, 2 things. One, Okay, let's do sidewalk. A lot of students will make sidewalks going down like that. Then it looks like you walk out your door and walk down a hill to the sidewalk, to the street. Make them parallel with the horizon line, the edges of your paper. If you want to make these little sidewalk lines, it makes it look like the sidewalk is flat. Right. But out here, it goes to the vanishing point with these sidewalk lines. And they turn and get more and more angled the further out we go. Out here, see? And that makes it look flatter. So the same thing will apply over here. Right, it needs to be angled. The other one is the doors and windows. So any door or window facing you is just square like you would naturally want to draw it. A door would be square, a little door handle. A window might be square. So that's pretty basic. I could do this stuff upside down. I don't know why I'm not. Sorry. So these are just square. Now, just like the diamond-shaped sidewall, doors and windows over here are going to be diamond-shaped, or else they'll look like they're falling back. So you use this wall line as your guide, and you back up, and then there's a door. You do another one, right? And then we can go to the vanishing point and get the top of the door, because we've got to match the top of the building. And notice this gap here is the same all the way up. It's not getting... Because if you just draw a square in there that faces you, it looks weird. And maybe over here we'll just put a window. So the window will come up, make a line to the vanishing point, line to the vanishing point, and match up with this building line straight up and down on the window. And you end up again with this diamond shaped. That's how you make windows and stuff in there. Okay, that's the big stuff. Later on you could talk about things that are close or bigger, right? You got the more details. You got a big tree maybe here. But as it gets further away, you might have a repeated shape, smaller. Repeated shape, smaller, right? Little one way out there, crossing the horizon line. This one's a little bigger. You got your tree here. Okay? And in the end, hopefully you'll end up something like this. Got your building, that's the one we just built. Here it is colored. Added up a little fence that's also in perspective. Now these crazy guys, this is cut out. You can cut out from a cartoon, from a newspaper or anything, cars and stuff. I thought the picture was a little too cartoony, so I put cartoon car in it. A little monster, cut him off to match this line. Make him look like he's reaching over on the building. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Maybe one little thing here, another common mistake. This dotted line. You want to start off with millions of little dots here. Lots of little dots because it's far away. Then as it gets closer, start dashing it. And longer dashes. Each one getting longer and longer. Alright, so it looks like they disappear into the distance. And only the first like 4 here will have any kind of thickness as it gets bigger and bigger here. Does that make sense? So this is big, a little thinner, thinner, and then just a dash, 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 dot, 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 dot. Then it looks like it's going off into the distance. Alright, enjoy. You can pen it and color it or just color it and you'll be good. Color the whole picture.